Don't scroll. What would you do if your child made a decision that broke your heart, but then came back begging for forgiveness? This is the story of the prodigal son, a tale of love, forgiveness, and redemption. It begins with a father and his two sons. The father was a kind, hard-working man, and his land was filled with abundance. But one day, the younger son grew restless. He didn't want to stay in the shadow of his father anymore. He went to his father and said, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance that will one day be mine." Now imagine this. What kind of son demands his inheritance before his father has even passed on? But the father, loving and gracious, gave him what he asked for. The younger son packed his belongings, took the money, and left for a far-off land. There, he squandered all his wealth on wild living, parties, indulgences, and recklessness. Soon, he had nothing left, not even enough to buy food. And then, to make matters worse, a severe famine struck the land. Desperate, the son took a job feeding pigs, an unthinkable task for a Jewish man. He was so hungry that even the food the pigs ate began to look good to him. Sitting there in the mud, he finally came to his senses. He thought, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will go back to my father and say, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" So he got up and began his journey home. Can you imagine his fear? Every step must have been filled with shame and regret. But here's where the story takes a turn, a beautiful, powerful turn. While he was still a long way off, his father saw him. Why? Because the father had been watching for him, day after day, hoping and praying for his return. The father ran to his son. He didn't walk. He didn't wait for the son to grovel his way home. No, he ran. He threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son began his rehearsed apology. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But before he could even finish, the father turned to his servants and said, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." But not everyone was happy. Remember the older brother? When he heard the music and learned that his younger brother had returned and was being celebrated, he became angry. He refused to join the feast. "All these years I've been slaving for you," he said to his father. "I never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat to celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with wild living, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." The father, full of love and patience, replied, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And so the story of the prodigal son teaches us this timeless truth. God's love knows no bounds. He watches, he waits, and he welcomes us back with open arms, no matter how far we've wandered. So what about you? Are you the lost son in need of grace? Or are you the older sibling struggling to forgive? Wherever you are in this story, remember, there's always a place for you at the Father's table.